Hey YouTube, what is up, and welcome back to tutorial number 32. And in this tutorial I want to talk to you guys about fixed positioning. So to demonstrate that, I'm actually going to make like a little mini website that we'll be working with over the next few tutorials. And what we can do now is just go over to our body, and as you can see I've ripped everything out of the body, so I'm starting with a clean body. And what I want to do now is I want to add in 3 divs. So that's div number 1 right there, ending div, and I'm actually going to copy this. So that's div 1, 2 and 3. And for our first div up at the top here, I'm going to give this div an ID of header, and the second div I'm going to give an ID of main section, and then the third div I'm going to give an ID of footer. And that's just the 3 different sections of our website. We're going to have a header in our website, a main section or a main article, and then a footer. And inside my header I'm actually going to just be boring and add in heading 1, and I'm going to say this is the header. You know, that's pretty boring, but anyways. And in our main section I'm going to add in an article header, so we might as well make that slightly smaller, heading 2, and so this is the article. And now we'll obviously have to make an article with some content, so we can probably add in a paragraph over here, and inside this paragraph we can say this is the we could say this website rocks my socks off. Cool, that sounds a little bit more interesting. And I'm probably gonna have to copy this quite a few times, so awesome. And then I'm gonna need a few more paragraphs. I want enough content to be able to scroll, so there we go, that is quite a few paragraphs. And now what we can do is go over to our footer, and inside our footer generally you'd probably put a lot more content in here, but I'm just going to go ahead and add in an H3, and we can probably just say this is the footer. Cool, sweet. So let's go and check out what this looks like in Firefox. Okay, and as you can see we have a website with a header and a little article header, and then enough paragraphs that we can actually scroll up and down, and that probably looked really crazy on YouTube. So that's just what I needed, and now we can go over to the CSS side of things and just style this to look a little bit better. So for the first thing that I want to do is I actually want to take away the margin and the padding away from everything, and to do that you use the little asterisk sign, and that just refers to everything on my website, whatever's there. And what I want to do is just say margin is equal to 0 pixels and padding is equal to 0 pixels. Awesome. Okay, so that's going to remove all the padding and the margins. And now what I want to do is, okay, we'll probably have to style our header, and we're gonna have to style all 3 of these things. So main section and the footer. Awesome. There we go. Cool. So for the header I want to add in a border, and it's gonna have to be big enough for you guys to see, so we'll make it 4 pixels solid and red. Sweet. And padding of 10 pixels just to give it a little bit more space and look a little bit more tidier. And margin for the header, I'll start that off with 0 pixels. So that's 0 pixels on the top and the bottom, and if I add in the second property, then that is 10 pixels on the left and the right. So 0 on the top and the bottom, and 10 pixels on the left and the right. And we can probably just copy this. Oops. Okay. And for the main section, we'll just change the border to green, and I want my margin to be 10 pixels. And we can probably copy that and then put that in the footer, and then the footer can just have a blue border. So let's go ahead and save that, and we can refresh this in Firefox now, and it'll probably look a little bit more different. Awesome. So now you'll be able to see the difference between our header and our article and our footer. And now what I want to do is show you guys how to use fixed positioning. So let's go over to, well, if you guys have ever seen websites like Twitter and Facebook and Pinterest, which I'm pretty sure all of you guys at least have an account on one of those things, you'll know that the header is usually at the top of the page, and when you scroll, it usually stays at the top of the web page. It doesn't like disappear when you scroll down. So that's what a fixed element on your web page would look like, and that's what I'm going to show you guys how to do now. So let's go over to our CSS, and underneath our header we're going to add in this attribute called position, and what we're going to do is set this equal to fixed, and then I'm going to add in another 2 attributes, and that's going to be top 0 pixels and left 0 pixels, and this just specifies what position the box must be in on our website, and that's just going to be the top left hand corner. So let's go back to Firefox now and click refresh, and okay, I should probably put a background color in there. So let's go ahead and add in background color is yellow. So as you can see, quite a lot has actually changed on our web page with just those 4 lines of code, and very obviously the first thing is that we now have a yellow background inside of our header, which was what we just did last. And then the second thing is, as you can see, our header has gone from being the whole page wide to only being as wide as the content inside of our div. And that's because when you position an element like this, then that's what happens. So you can fix this by actually adding in a fixed width. If you go back to your CSS and you add in a width property, you could go ahead and then make your header as long as you want it to be. And then the next couple of things you can see is that our element has actually been pulled out of the flow of the web page. So instead of having the space at the top of our web page where our header can be, we now have the header floating on top of everything. Well, I don't want to say floating because it's not really floated, but it's now above everything, like on a higher layer, and it's actually fixed. So when we scroll up and down, you can see the header stays at the top, it doesn't move, and all of the other content behind our header has now moved up to fit the space where the header would have been if it wasn't in a fixed position. So that's pretty much what the fixed property does. And if we go back to our CSS, then I can show you guys exactly what the top and left properties will do. If we wanted to, we could probably set our top property to about 20 pixels and our left property to about 200 pixels. And when we save this and then go back to Firefox and click refresh, you can see our header now is 20 pixels down and 200 pixels across. So that's just how the left and the top property are able to be used just to position our elements. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have for you guys in this tutorial, so I will see you guys next time. Don't forget to subscribe. Please feel free to leave a comment, and if you found this video helpful, then please go ahead and click like, because it's really going to help my channel grow. So thank you very much, and I'll see you guys next time.